Hi everyone, welcome to this really real moment with me, Yogan. So, as a warning, I'm going to be very real here. So, for anyone that is not comfortable with real, with someone talking about themselves for real, what's really going on for real moments, then I suggest you stop because that's where we're going to right now. Okay. So, yeah, I warned you. So, yesterday I was opening up this point in this video that the best case scenario and the worst case scenario are connected. So within here, working with this programming that was revealed through that, the last videos I did yesterday. And this morning I was opening it up and I saw how extensive this is. So let me start with explaining what this is again. Now, it's like yesterday I was working with this memory of this group of guys that I met during the summer camp, and there was these characteristics that they had. This one guy who was like the leader, he's very charismatic, and the other guy, he was like the best friend, like a support character in a movie or TV show. And so taking these words together, someone who's a leader, who's charismatic, who's like a best friend, who's like a support, and I take these words, I can see very clearly that every single person that I was attracted to, whether in a friendship context or say a partner context, that those words describe them. And my response to them was the same. It was here where I wrote how I was very subservient to them, devoted to them, pledged to serve them, how I even saw that this is what I called love, what I was doing, and that it was in fact a infatuation, a dependence, a need. And I guess even though this word is used for so many times, this word though applies. It is a desire. So here's an example of this for me to share a story. The first girlfriend I ever had, she had broken up with me, and she had went to someone else, and she had told me during this time, it was, let's say, a long breakup over a course of some, let's say, weeks, and she, during that time period, she had shared in one moment, she told me that she was afraid that I was going to become one of those guys which she saw with one of her friends, that her friend, her boyfriend, had turned to this guy that was really, let's say, dependent, very like a different person that was very, so I guess, infatuated with her friend. So when she told me this, she was afraid and worried that I was going through that I was becoming like that. And at that time period, I really didn't want to listen to her. I just wanted to be with her. But now looking back, she did make her decision to leave me. And what I saw in that moment now within looking at this programming, and how every single person, every single friend, let me say this, every single friendship relationship, every single crush that I enjoyed, all my best friends, every girl I ever asked out. I was like this. Let's say, was turned on by them being like a leader, leading me, or how their charisma, or their being like a best friend to me, supporting me like that as a support, where I was very subservient to them, devoted to them, pledged to them, committed to them. So I see that there was a part of her, because she was talking, when she told me this, she was genuinely distressed and worried, and was, part of me was like inspired, because I was saying like to myself in that moment that she was just saying that so to make me feel better. But in reality, it's true. I mean, this programming that I'm describing now is exactly what she was saying back then. And so in a way, if she didn't break up with me, I would have never gotten to where I am today. Looking at this program, we would have continued together. I would have been the same. And when I look at this design, it really is this point here where I realize that, because I'd often wonder that maybe if I would have been with someone else, like I would have gone with someone else, or would have asked certain people out, or would have had certain relationships during my life, which there are opportunities to do so, but I didn't. After my first relationship, I often wondered, or even crushes I had before my first relationship, the crushes I had throughout the years, or I wondered if I would have been with them. So now I understand that it didn't matter. None of that would have mattered if I would have been with this person, that person, because this same design within me would have existed. That what was going to happen is predictable. That would have just been totally, how I wrote it here, I would have been a slave, or I would have continued looking to be someone's slave. Where the relationship didn't work out, I would have gone to look for someone else that I can be a slave to, that they can lead me. And I realized that there's a lot of people who are like this, who have the same programming, because if you look at TV shows and movies, that there's just certain characters that people are drawn to, that are attracted to. And this included me as well, who are also very charismatic, who is a leader, who was a support, the best friend, all rolled up into one person. And so yeah, it's like, it's very obvious now. Now it's very obvious. And man. And what is interesting is that when there was time periods where I decided not to, okay, well, there's two things. One thing is that there were people who sort of embodied only one part of the things I was looking for. So there's people that who was only like a leader or charismatic, or there are people who are only like a best friend. So you could say they were half the package. Now for these people I didn't go out the relationship with, but there was, like, let's say, a half attraction, where I wanted partially to go with them, but I decided not to. But what's interesting is, really looking at this, I had always thought to myself that, okay, well, I was making the choice not to go after them. But, they weren't really the full package of what I was looking for. And so, of course, it was easy to say no. But really, if I was to come face to face with such a person who was exactly what I was looking for, I mean, the reactions are on a different level. They're definitely much more. So it definitely is not the same decision to say no. And I mean, there's a part of me that knows that because after my first relationship, and within interacting with people, I always, there were time periods where I did, let's say, entertain myself for a time, where I did go spend some time with people within, let's say, that kind of relationship, with what I'm describing here, within someone very charismatic, very like a best friend, like a leader who's like leading me. There's been various people who have been like that, both like friendships and, let's say, partners. But like I would engage with that, entertain with myself within that for some months, for some time. But there was always a point where who I am really, like my commitment to who I am, that always came through in some way, where I wouldn't really ever be, let's say, completely lost. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be here where I am today, right now, looking at all this and talking about this, opening this all up. So I know there's a part of me that I can trust, where if I say get lost within something for some time, I trust myself where I will never actually really be lost. I'm going to find my way through it to understand it. And that's the kind of approach I have with my mind, where I understand that the mind is vast and that you can get lost within it. But I trust myself that if I put myself fully within my mind to really, let's say, get lost within all of this information so I can understand it, that I know I will always find myself, that I will never actually ever fully be lost. And I have that level of trust clearly within me. So you can say that. So when there's people who have told me that I have courage, it's not that I actually have courage. I have the trust within myself that if I put myself in any situation, I will find myself. That I can never actually ever be fully lost within something. That even, let's say I do go through time periods of lostness, I'm still going to look for me. I'm never going to quit being committed to myself. So that is where my apparent courage comes from. Where I go full charge into something, unknowing what's going to happen. So, continuing with this vlog, there's actually more to this program. There's a polarity here to everything I described with having this charismatic person, looking for this person, searching for this person in other people in whatever form, in movies, TV shows, video games, anything, any medium. That there's a polarity to that, and that is, there's been times in my life where I decided to, let's say, not look for relationships whatsoever. Done with people. I'm done with that. Then I enter into a polarity of becoming the actual charismatic guy, very like leader, like I'm on my own, I'm independent, I don't need anyone, that I'm my own support, that I'm on my own, that I am my own best friend. And it's with the specific tonality I'm speaking with, where it's kind of, you could say, like kind of arrogant, kind of like meh. It's with that taste to it. So that's what I do when I'm not looking for that person who's like trying to lead me so I can be a slave to. I become that person, which I project that, let's say, confidence. I project, I say confidence, it's not like a real confidence, but I project that, and it's like I show that, I'm so cool. And then that way, like, I expect that to stimulate people, because then I'm as if I'm attracting people who are like me, or in the other polarity where I'm attracting someone who's looking to be enslaved by someone else. And I would notice that. And as far as I can tell, I never really actually did that to someone else. Have I? I mean, there was a time where I experimented, where I did try to start a relationship with someone. Why me taking that, let's say, initiative, but projecting the whole, let's say, personality of the arrogance, you could say. And I really didn't like myself within that. It was really like a weird feeling doing that, and it's just, I felt like incomplete. I mean, honestly, it wasn't satisfying, because for me, what was satisfying was having that leader, having that person leading me, having that charismatic. That's what I really wanted, and so that's what it was. And so when the time period where I experimented with that, it kind of really didn't lead to anywhere. So it was more like a waiting area, or staging area, before entering the personality, the polarity of looking for that person again. And I mean, when I didn't talk about this yet, but when I have that person in my life that is extremely, like, who's like a leader, who's charismatic, who's my best friend, who's there to support me. When I have that person, it's like, initially it's like what would I call love, which is very blissful, very nice, very pleasant. It's like as if you shoot up my blood with cocaine. It's like euphoria, or what's that drug called? LSD? No, that drug that it's like love, whatever. It's like acid. No, I don't know. It's just drugs. Positive drug is like I feel it within my body. It's like surging. It's like I come alive. Though that I know is only the beginning stages. Then of course it falls away, because really that person is not that personality, that character. The rest of themselves, their intimacy, their fears, their realness behind that, their point of being lost, that's all real, that's all there. And so there's really no such thing as that character who's really like that, who's really charismatic, who's really like a support, who's a leader, fully, absolutely. That doesn't exist in this world. People have all their other side as well. Maybe one side's more pronounced, what you put on the surface, on the face, but that's not really what's going on underneath, really. So I wrote down here just to say this because it's funny too. Where when I don't, this is describing me as arrogant, where I'm the big shot, I'm the superior asshole, then I become the leader. So there is that point there where it is a sense of enjoyment, like a slight enjoyment, but it's definitely not as exhilarating as the other polarity. But what is interesting too is that level of, let's say, depression of my ego or personality system, where that gets connected into the loss of this person. Because when I've experienced breakups, when I experience losing people, I enter into that dark place, which I know that dark place fuels the next time I meet such a person again, where all that negative energy turns into the positive energy when I meet again a person who is what I'm looking for. Here I say what I'm looking for because that's just my programming, not my decision, like who I am right now, who I'm creating myself to be. And honestly, in all honesty, this program, I've been, let's say, ignorant of this until like yesterday, in a way, because I've always understood levels of this. Understood the when I face breakups, when I like certain people that are very, let's say, happy, very energetic. Yeah, I understood that, but I didn't really connect see this connection here which spans all these people, all my friendships, all my relationships, and who I am in relationship to them. And this is something that is across my life, like absolutely. So now it's like I'm releasing like some really deep programming that is, I don't know if it can get any deeper, but it could be. For all I know, I can be surprised. I can always be surprised, right? Who knows what I don't know? But it's like this is definitely something that I didn't see before, the level of it. So it's really cool because now, because for example, there are people in my life who just up until, let's say, 3 days ago, whatever, who, but day before yesterday, that when I would like if they were here in front of me, like I can imagine them right now. If they were in front of me right now, who would I be? And I can see my reaction to that. But before I was kind of accepting, allowing that because I thought that that's my kind of part of who I am. And even then, if I say, okay, well, that's not who I am, and I kind of try to stop it, it's more of a suppression because I really didn't understand why. Like, why am I reacting to them this way with positive feelings? Why them? Why not someone else? And it was this point, and it is these points of them being, say, charismatic, being a leader, being the support, the best friend, them having those qualities, which I'm perceiving, that's what I'm actually reacting to. It's those words. It's like I said, and it's like I said in the other video, whereas if I had these band of words here, like forming a wall, which sort of that is how I interpret reality. When I see that person, I see those words like charismatic, leader, best friend, support, and it's all for me. It's like, and I have those reactions. But now, within understanding this, I can drop those words, just see them who they are completely as a whole person, within words that actually describe them. And that's like a whole different way of relating to these specific people. Where in a way, than myself, it's you can say it's not really a boredom, but in a way, it's like a normalness where it's just mundane, where it's just where I just see them as a person, where it becomes normal to them, normal for me to relate to them, normal for me to talk to them, normal for me to interact with them. Whereas normal, no more this level of speaking to them, where now I can hear that if I were to speak to that, let's say level of excitement, level of wanting them, wanting their attention within my voice, within my words, which would be because I'm accessing that point of them being a leader, them being charismatic, and them trying to wanting them in my life. It's very interesting. And so, yeah. I know there's levels I could keep exploring within this, possibly living words for myself. And what would it mean to live without accessing also the arrogant side? Because that's another dimension for me to look out for. And who am I beyond both of those polarities and beyond relating to people in this way? That's the question now. And I think I'm going to leave this here. Okay, thank you for watching. I know it's been a long vlog. I hope it's been helpful, supportive, educational. And yeah, thank you very much. Bye.